So I wanted to do a quick thing on the announcements for the Hall H. I saw I'm taking a quick little walk. So I saw the trailer footage that they showed too. Not too bad, a couple new scenes. I'm not going to go heavily into that for the leaks, but just basically most of what we saw, some of the footage we saw from the previous leak, actually. The big leak that was hard to see, a little bit there, not too much as well, which is interesting. And a conversation, and in the new trailer, it talks a little bit about Victor Doom himself, and that he used to be kind and gentle. He was the smartest person in the room. Basically, he was a good dude, and something was taken away from him. If you look at the poster, it looks like his family was taken away, and the whole, literally there's a poster that shows him sitting in front of a tapestry. It looks like it was his wife and kid or something like that. And with that, he's basically, I guess, going to try to bring them back by moving heaven and earth. Similar to what Kingpin tried to do in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It doesn't matter about the rest of reality as long as he gets his reality kind of thing, his happy ending. Then we go, that's the thing. But you see in the panel, they kind of pull the thing in the panel where... where they're like asking questions and they're like, who's stronger, Thanos or Doom? Doom did have a really cool entrance in the thing that I saw, and I'm like, it's Thanos. Thanos is always stronger. This is more of a situation where Doom may have just gathered power in this particular situation to become strong. So something along those lines is probably what happened, I would gauge. Now, while they're at the panel, and apparently at this Comic-Con, they have Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is dressed up as Deadpool in his X-Force gear. And when I see that, and it was very funny, he's like, hey, who's this guy with the swords? It's Robert Downey Jr. They kind of have a couple back and forths. He's talking about, hey, do you got room in the movie? I see some people pulling this thing because of what's going on with Blake Lively and Baldini, and I don't know who does what, but the few people that are sitting there saying this stuff like, oh, Ryan Reynolds, I'll never watch a movie with Ryan Reynolds again. It doesn't matter. Deadpool proves he's going to come out with Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds is going to make bank. It's just the way it is. If you want to care about their situation that's going on with whoever did what to who, I don't know who did what. They're still kind of figuring all that out. You go ahead, but just know he's Deadpool. Just deal. You guys just have to deal with it. But anywho, as he's talking, I'm thinking, and I'm like, because he's like, hey, is there going to be rum? And what's going on with the Thanos, or not the Thanos, what's going on with the scene with Thor? And what happened? And they're like, playing up the jokey thing. And he's like, oh, you guys when are you going to start production? They're like, oh, we're already wrapped up, which is saying and hinting that he might pop up in the movie at some point. But the slick trick that I picked up on was the factor of he's wearing X-Force outfit. And there was a rumor, something that was mentioned a while ago, about Ryan Reynolds maybe working on a different type of Deadpool movie, where he wants to make him more of a cameo-y kind of guy, or more of involved but kind of mixed in. And I'm like, well, he did introduce a version of X-Force in Deadpool 2. And they were talking about possibly doing it. So what if they just turn around and that was him low-key announcing they're working on the next Deadpool movie, which happens to be like Deadpool X-Force or something like that, and doing a full ensemble movie with X-Force. Okay, that's just my theory. I could be wrong. That's just what I'm thinking. Now with that, you also have the announcement of Ryan Gosling, who I'm a very, very huge fan of. And what's the name boy that did Deadpool and Wolverine, who was doing this? I think they worked on Project Hail Mary together, if I remember correctly. Now, I remember Ryan Gosling's been mentioning he wanted to do Ghost Rider. Now, he totally fits Johnny Blaze, but I kind of was hoping he would do Danny Ketch, because I thought Danny Ketch was cool with the father and stuff, and we've never gotten to see Danny Ketch. We've gotten to see a Robbie, we've gotten to see a Johnny. Now we're getting a secondary Johnny. Now, personally, I do think that maybe they could leave Danny maybe to a passing the torch situation, where they'll go, okay, Danny's the new Ghost Rider at some point. So they might be leaving that in their back pocket. But and as I think about it more, because at first I was really disappointed, because I was like, I really like Danny Ketch's Ghost Rider. I love Johnny Blaze too, don't get me wrong. And Robbie's pretty cool. I'm not sitting there. I mean, Robbie has a car. That's just cool. He ran a not a Sentinel, a Celestial. So Robbie does some really cool stuff. But Robbie wasn't originally a Ghost Rider in the natural sense. It was with his cousin thing, and then he got the Penitentiary later and all that. Danny was the one, when you think of the look with him with the spikes and stuff. So if you look at Ghost Rider 1, that's how Johnny looked. All the stuff you think of, the spikes, the chains, the really cool spike, like wrist gauntlet, the gloves, all that stuff, that was Danny Ketch. He used to throw his chain and could turn like the ninja stars. He could create weapons. Like, a lot of that actually was Danny Ketch, not Johnny Blaze. So, but I think it's really cool. It is funny that Ryan's wife played in the first Ghost Rider, and now he's going to be Ghost Rider. So I thought that was actually really interesting, very cool. I love that. Eva is awesome and everything. So Ryan Gosling doing that, I thought that was a very cool announcement. And then the final announcement they had was with Black Panther and the new the actor, the kid from The Long Walk, and also Alien Romulus. He's done a couple other movies. I saw him in his Lockup movie. He did really good too. I'm talking about David Johnson. He's going to be playing the aged up version of T'Challa's son. Now, I've seen already one person, Shine Comics, who's like, no one wants this, and I want to Idris this. Yes, we all wanted that, the Idris dude. He would have been cool to play in a regular T'Challa if they were going to replace him in the world. To be honest with you, the Idris guy was actually more my pick to be Blade, because I think Blade should be a younger person. I like Mahershala Ali, but Mahershala Ali is old. He's not, I mean, I'm up there myself, you see the grays, but he's like 50. So to me, unless he was Blade for a long time already, I don't know, but I think you can still work Mahershala, but I think they were so focused on passing the torch of Blade to another person, when all they really need to do, it is not that hard. And it's stupid if I feel like this is the only thing I did bad. No, you did other stuff bad. This was just stupid. It should not be that hard to do a Blade film. Seriously. Guy uses guns, swords to fight vampires. It's not hard. And you could have introduced his daughter, in a possible, like, do Mahershala in the first movie, have him do something else, and then introduce that Blade had a daughter. You can be like, well, I've been Blade for a long time, and he's fighting vampires for a while, and then you could introduce his daughter in like the second movie or the third movie, preferably the third movie, and kind of use that to pass the torch, to be like, oh, not do the 1920s or whatever, just do a regular Blade movie, do a cool story, what the vampires are trying to do, maybe have him and introduce Dracula, and you can even introduce the Midnight Suns. But the simple solution is just have him fight vampires. And if you want to pass the torch, which Marvel can't help themselves, and Blade does have a daughter that they've been pushing, Bloodline, I think her name is. They were pushing her for years. She came out and she's kind of there and she's kind of not. Like, they kind of pushed her and now no one even talks about it really. I think she's in one current comic. But you could do that, and then you could have it where you go forward with it, and she could be, take over her dad's mantle, or they could do a Whistler thing, but this time he backs her up. They could be a team. There's a lot of things you do, a father-daughter duo, all that could work. You just need to write it out, and it's really dumb that you can't do it. It's actually very stupid, because they kept trying to change the story. They try to make it a period piece, then they try to have these 3 girls take over, and then they try this other thing. It's stupid. So they need to get back on that Blade. Not cancel it, just make it work. Now, back to David Johnson. You're going to do the thing where you're going to have him become T'Challa's son. I know some people are like, well, how can they do that? Well, they're going to reset the timeline. This is what's going to happen. And this is not them doing it. I'm telling you from my own speculation, from what I see. They're going to do Doomsday. They're going to get the Secret Wars. They're going to probably do Battle World. And they're going to have the whole thing set up. And then at the end of that thing, they're probably going to change it all up. And then the timeline is going to reset. They already said they're doing a more focused type of story. We're probably going to get an X-Men movie by 2028. This is my guess. We're going to get an X-Men movie. We're going to get probably the Ghost Rider movie. And then we're going to get Black Panther 3. But now with T'Challa's son. And his name is T'Challa. They'll be able to do the stories with him. I'm hoping him and Namor, which I will never like that character. They changed stuff about the character that's dumb. You wanted to use that culture, you should have picked a character that actually is from that culture. I really don't like that. That's just my personal thing. Y'all can say what you want. I don't care. It's stupid. That's not Namor. Namor is not Aztec or Mexican or anything like that. But MCU does it that way, fine. I would like for them to start beefing the way it is in the comics, where he might be like, nah, no, you flooded my place. Yeah, you may have helped to save the world, but you still killed my grandma. You still did this to my family. On sight. That's what I want. Black Panther and Namor on sight. And we could really explore where Namor's son can go. It'll be a new character. He's youthful. I think he's in like his very early 30s. So you could get definitely a few movies out of him. I think it's a really good idea to move that character to T'Challa's kid. I think that's great. We're going to reset the timeline, so there's probably going to be a thing where some wonkiness and it's just going to be what it's going to be. And that's not bad. We're going to probably get new characters. We're going to get a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, number 2, or new Steve Rogers, possibly. We'll see. Sam is probably still going to be Cap. We're probably going to have 2 Caps running around. Maybe Captain America's son, because he's probably going to be Nomad. So I like what I seen, and it did feel like they were big, but it did feel like they were kind of bringing it in a bit, as they should. I don't know how they're going to handle the X-Men. I hope they do good. I hope they remember that it's a team and they focus on the team and not do one character focused story like the other X-Men did, even though I like some of the Fox X-Men. Some of them I like better than others. I do enjoy those films, so people can say whatever they want for the most part. But yeah, that seemed to be the thing, and I think it was a good idea. I think they were sneakily saying Ryan Reynolds is going to be, or Deadpool is going to be a part of this, and that he is going to do something with X-Force, because he was dressed as X-Force Deadpool. I think Marvel is going to also do a Wolverine. They're just waiting it out, and Wolverine's going to do his own thing. I don't think they're going to put Wolverine in X-Men. I think they're going to do Wolverine and then have him do his own thing, and I think that's smart. And then eventually you could build the X-Men, and this is the mutant saga. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. I like what I've seen. I think this is in the right direction. Marvel has been floundering. I don't care. I get it. Look, I told people I really enjoy Thunderbolts. I did my review. You can see it. I thought Fantastic Four was pretty good, even though Pedro Pascal is still not the dude I would have picked to play Reed Richards. He did a good job. We're going to get one universe with all the superheroes in it, so they'll be able to do what they need to do. But at the same time, like I said, we shall see. Looks good. I'm hoping they took the right lessons from Deadpool, Wolverine. Maybe with all this, they can kind of bring it in. I mean, we're seeing there's characters we haven't seen in years, like America Chavez. We haven't seen her in almost 5 years. Like stuff like that. Miss Marvel needs to be getting more love. That girl is great. They just need to give her an awesome script and get her a little bit away from the Marvels and the stuff and do it. I like her. She's a real comic book fan. And she's a good Miss Marvel. So I would like for them to start also giving a little bit of focus on these characters, but maybe they can do enough to make her really good and then do it and then translate it to the comics. So we shall see. But I do think that they need to work these things out. I think they really do need to also at some point with Fantastic Four deal with the Inhumans again and bring back the Inhumans. I know some people are like, why? I'm like, no, the Inhumans are awesome, but don't try to have the Inhumans be the new X-Men. Have the Inhumans be the Inhumans. And work this out. There is a way they can make Marvel go really good if they planned it out and say, okay, these characters may do this many movies, do this many showcases, and then we kind of move on. And also, don't be afraid to recast characters if their time is up. They can't always do it forever. It is okay if you want to continue the stories and you need to recast these people to do this. So that's my thing for Hall H. I'll probably talk about the DC comic stuff on another time. Geek Protagonists, you stay safe, you stay healthy, you stay real, and I'll see you.